In a busy American city, where every morning began with traffic, coffee cups, phone notifications, and people rushing to work, there lived a young man named Daniel. He was 22 years old, studying at a community college and working part-time at a coffee shop. Daniel had big dreams. He wanted to build an online business, help his family, and create a better future. But there was one problem. Daniel had dreams, but he did not have discipline. Every night he promised himself, "Tomorrow I'll wake up early. Tomorrow I'll study. Tomorrow I'll work on my business idea." But tomorrow always looked the same. He woke up late, checked TikTok before getting out of bed, skipped breakfast, rushed to work, came home tired, watched Netflix, scrolled for hours, and slept with guilt. One Sunday evening, Daniel looked at the clock and realized he had wasted 4 hours online. He whispered, "I am losing my life in small pieces." That sentence hit him deeply. He opened his notebook and wrote, "Self-discipline" under it. He added, "I don't need a new life. I need new habits." The next morning, his alarm rang at 6 a.m. His brain immediately gave him excuses. "You slept late. 5 more minutes. Start tomorrow." This is how human psychology works. The brain naturally chooses comfort because comfort saves energy. It does not care about long-term dreams in the moment. It wants quick pleasure and less pain. Daniel remembered one line: "Your brain is not always your enemy, but it is not always your leader either." So he got up. He did not feel motivated. He simply acted. That was discipline. At first, Daniel did not try to change everything. He made one simple rule: just 10 minutes. Study for 10 minutes. Exercise for 10 minutes. Work on business for 10 minutes. Read for 10 minutes. This rule worked because the hardest part of any task is starting. In psychology, this is called activation energy. Once a person starts, the brain adjusts, and the task becomes easier. On the first day, Daniel studied for 10 minutes, but continued for 25. The next day, he worked on his business for 10 minutes, but continued for 40. He learned an important lesson. Motivation often comes after action, not before action. Daniel began reading about real successful people. One story that inspired him was Michael Jordan. Jordan was cut from his high school varsity basketball team, but instead of quitting, he trained harder. He used rejection as fuel. He did not become great because life was easy. He became great because he practiced when others rested. Daniel wrote, "Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is training." Then he read about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah faced poverty, pain, and rejection early in life. But through discipline, emotional strength, and consistency, she became one of the most influential media personalities in the world. Her story taught Daniel that your past may explain your pain, but it does not have to control your future. This is called a growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, "I am just like this." A growth mindset says, "I can improve with effort and learning." Daniel stopped saying, "I am undisciplined." He started saying, "I am becoming disciplined." His next battle was his phone. Every time he tried to study, notifications pulled him back. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and messages stole his attention. Daniel learned another psychology rule. Your environment controls your behavior more than willpower. So he changed his environment. He charged his phone outside his bedroom. He removed distracting apps from his home screen. He placed books on his desk. He made good habits visible and bad habits difficult. At the coffee shop, Daniel often met an old customer named Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris came every morning at 7:30, ordered black coffee, and read the newspaper. One day he saw Daniel reading during his break. Mr. Harris smiled and asked, "Trying to change your life?" Daniel replied, "Trying to become disciplined." Mr. Harris said, "Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom." Daniel was confused. "Freedom?" Mr. Harris nodded. "Yes, if you control your money, you are free from debt. If you control your time, you are free from regret. If you control your habits, you are free from weakness. Those words stayed with Daniel. He understood that discipline was not about being hard on himself. It was about respecting his future self. But Daniel's journey was not perfect. One Friday night, he went out with friends, came home late, woke up at noon, skipped exercise, ate junk food, and wasted the day online. At night, guilt attacked him. His old mindset said, "You failed again." But this time Daniel answered, "One bad day is not a bad life." He made a new rule, never miss twice. If he missed one workout, he would not miss the next. If he wasted one day, he would plan the next morning. If he failed once, he would restart quickly. After 3 months, Daniel's life began to change. He was not rich or famous, but he was different. He woke up earlier, studied regularly, exercised 4 days a week, saved money, and worked on his online business every night for 1 focused hour. His confidence grew because confidence is not built by compliments. It is built by keeping promises to yourself. Then, Daniel read about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Before becoming a Hollywood star, he faced financial struggle and career disappointment. At one point, he had only a few dollars in his pocket. But he kept training, working, and improving. Daniel realized that success is not one big moment. It is thousands of small, disciplined actions repeated over time. He also studied Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality. Kobe was known for waking up early, training intensely, and practicing when others were sleeping. His greatness was not an accident. It was built through daily discipline. Daniel wrote, "The world sees the result, but discipline sees the process." One day, Daniel's college announced a business presentation competition. Daniel feared public speaking. His hands shook whenever he spoke in class. His first thought was, "Don't do it." But then he remembered, fear is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. So he signed up. For 2 weeks he practiced every night. He recorded himself, improved his voice, fixed his slides, practiced in front of the mirror, and studied great speakers. On presentation day, he was nervous, but prepared. He walked onto the stage and said, "Most people don't fail because they don't have dreams. They fail because their daily habits do not support their dreams." The room became quiet. He continued, "Self-discipline is doing what your future needs, even when your present mood disagrees." Daniel did not win first place. He won third. But for him, it felt like victory because he had defeated his fear. Months passed. His online business slowly started earning small money. First $20, then $50, then $200. It was not huge, but it was proof that discipline works. Daniel learned that self-discipline does not mean ignoring emotions. It means understanding emotions and not letting them control your life. When he felt tired, he rested, but did not quit. When he felt bored, he continued. When he felt afraid, he prepared. When he failed, he learned. At the end of the year, Daniel opened his notebook again. On the first page, he saw the title, Self-Discipline. He smiled and wrote, "Self-discipline changed me because it taught me that my life is not controlled by my mood, my past, or my excuses. My life is shaped by my choices. Every small habit is a vote for the person I am becoming." Daniel's story is the story of every student, worker, creator, athlete, and dreamer who wants a better life but struggles with consistency. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to feel ready. You do not need to change everything today. Start with 10 minutes. Start with one promise. Start with one habit. Start today. Because motivation may open the door, but discipline keeps you walking through it. Self-discipline is not the prison of life. It is the key to freedom.